Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sherwood Shakeup, episode 5. I'm Matt Weinglass, your host for today, and we have a very, very special show planned for you guys. I'm excited to get to it very soon. I just first want to thank everybody for getting involved with Sherwood Players over the last month. We've been up on YouTube running this show and uploading some really cool stuff to our new channel. We've been at it for literally a month, and I think we almost have 500 followers already. And so we can't be any more happier because these things take a long time to grow and build. And of course, we're still going to be growing and building. And we do have goals. We have long-term goals. We have short-term goals. We have long-term goals. Like any business model, you should have those things and be able to check your calendar and figure out what is the next milestone. I think 500 viewers is a huge milestone. So we're almost there. Again, 1 month in. This is our 5th show. For people completely new to what we're doing in Sherwood, I want to welcome you guys and just reiterate what it is we're all about. An artistic community, entertainment-based, entertainment-minded, but very community-minded as well. We're about power in numbers. We're about helping each other, sharing resources, building our networks, and trial and erroring things, thinking outside the box, and figuring out the ways we can get to our goals, and that's to be successful players in this entertainment industry. We're happy to have a lot of different people that have come and been involved with us. We've been in LA for 5 or 6 years now. We've just, over this last year during the lockdown, we've actually grown significantly, and we have some really, really cool stuff coming up, not just online. We actually have in-person stuff coming up as well. So before I introduce our very special guest, we're going to check in very quickly with our social media manager, Barbara Wilder. Hey, Barbara, how's it going?
Hello, everybody. Yeah, that's great news that we have so many people who watch our YouTube lives.
It's incredible. And I'm seeing that people are watching it after the fact too. So we do keep these interviews and the shows and all the videos, we keep them up. This is, obviously live is great, but you guys can also watch them and you can share it with people who aren't watching now, and they can check this out later when they get a chance. So it's awesome. Isn't that funny how the internet works? It's kind of cool. Like you can kind of stream stuff whenever you want.
Exactly.
I'm just figuring this out. It's kind of fun.
And a lot of things are happening for Sherwood at the moment. I think you're very, very busy.
We are very busy. Do you want to tell us about a few of those things? We have a film festival happening.
We have a film festival. We're still in the early bird submission phase, which is great, which ends on August 22nd. So everybody who has not submitted their movie yet, please do so very, very quickly, because you get the early bird discount. And we already have like a few really, really good submissions. I'm really excited about that.
I'm so excited about this, and they're coming to us from all over the globe. We have submissions from Australia, Iran. We have some Spanish language ones that so everyone is bringing their culture to the table, and this is why we decided to call it Sherwood Players International Film Festival, because we like to attract artists from all over the world. And what's really great about Sherwood is that we've expanded into other parts of the globe as well. We have offices in Mexico City. We have offices now. Our new offices now are in Serbia, and so we even have an animation team in Venezuela, where we've also shot a documentary down there as well. So we're kind of we're expanding very rapidly. It's so exciting.
Exactly.
So, what is that other? Oh, I'm sorry. You were gonna add?
When are the auditions coming up for our next business audio theater?
Well, you're gonna have to watch this show. If you're tuning in to find out that information, you guys are all gonna have to stay tuned, because we have our special guest coming on. We're gonna be talking about that. So we can't announce that just yet. But Barbara, we do actually have an event on the calendar. It's our first Spectrum in-person Spectrum event at our brand new theater, the Complex Hollywood. Right. August 19th. That's coming up a week from this Thursday in Hollywood. You guys have to look out for the information on this, because we are about to announce our special guest. We're actually going to be announcing them tonight. So stay tuned for announcements for that. Yes. And it's nice to get back in person. We are very excited to do that. It's been a long time. You know, we've been online. So it's it's been a challenging times, to say the least. But I have to say, Barbara, wouldn't you say it's kind of a silver lining that during this time we've been able to kind of stretch our brains and figure out different ways to interact and communicate?
Yes, I think it's so important, especially in these times, to stay active and yeah, just go ahead, go move forward.
Great. Yeah. Well said, Barbara. Yeah. So we're excited. We're going to stay online and do our stuff here on YouTube, on other mediums here. And we're also going to be in person. So we're just expanding like crazy. So we're so excited. Barbara, thank you for checking in with us. Do you want to tell us where people can go for the film festival submission?
Yeah, go to filmfreeway.com/Sherwood Players, and always check out our website, sherwoodplayers.com.
I think it's Sherwood Players International Film Festival is the film freeway.
The film festival, like if
Yes.
you want to go directly there. Correct. Yes.
Oh yeah, if you go directly to our festival page. Yes,
Exactly.
That's correct.
Sherwood Players International Film Festival.
On Film Freeway.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thanks for the update, Barbara. We will check back in with you later. So
yes, and Matt, just like one question, like at 3 p.m. There will always also today, like on
yes. Yes, I can't believe I almost forgot that. Yes, we will be on Clubhouse, the Clubhouse app. Everyone, if you want to have a direct conversation with us, we get very personal, very intimate. It's not like YouTube where you're just kind of sitting there watching us. You can actually engage with us and without having to write a question that we never get to. We can actually talk on Clubhouse. So go to the Clubhouse app, look for the Sherwood Players Club, and we will be there with you guys at 3 o'clock.
Perfect.
So, and Barbara, we'll see you there, right? We can chat. Okay. Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much, Barbara.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Bye. Awesome. So yeah, we have a lot of awesome stuff going on. Go to our website if you want to get a lowdown of everything. It's sherwoodplayers.com. You can check out all of our happenings from the homepage and just kind of explore there. So we're very excited about that as well. Okay, without further ado, I am so excited today to have our very special guests. We're going to bring them in just a second. It's our good friends, our business partners, Michael Houlihan and Bonnie Harvey, the creators of Barefoot Wine, America's #1 selling wine, who are also the authors of The Barefoot Spirit, the New York Times best-selling book. And together we teamed up with them to create Business Audio Theater. So please welcome to our show, Michael and Bonnie.
Hello, Matt. Yay. Glad to be with you. And hi to all the Sherwood Players.
Yes, for sure. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I know you have so many, obligations throughout the day. You guys are speaking all the time. And I just thank you for just squeezing us in for a little bit. It's really, really awesome of you.
Well, absolutely. It's always a pleasure to be working with you.
Very, very cool. So yeah, I'm excited to let's get into it. Let's tell us and people who are meeting you for the first time, where did this idea of business audio theater come from? And like, let's tell us some of the backstory of what happened. How did we get to this point?
Well, it's pretty crazy, Matt, but you're used to that, I'm sure. So this is another one of those crazy stories. So, we put together Barefoot Wine. It's really tough. It takes us about 20 years. We get our butts kicked. We learn lots of lessons. We become kind of business experts the hard way. And then when we get out, we're hired by our acquirer to teach their people how to keep the barefoot spirit alive. This is a big company, like 2,000 people, and they want to keep this entrepreneurial spirit alive, where individuals are coming up with good ideas and being creative and having fun and giving themselves nicknames and all this stuff. So we worked for them for a year, and in the process, we realized what a huge difference there was between corporate America and, entrepreneurial America, right? And we are entrepreneurs with you, Matt, and with the rest of our partners. And I mean, every day is kind of a struggle. And you're always looking for where's that next buck's coming from. And you have to be imaginative. You got to get your head out of the box. And so people said, you guys really ought to write a book. So we wrote a book. We didn't like the book because it was just a bunch of, lists of things. And so we threw that away, and we found a guy that we thought could write a really good book for us. Bonnie liked him, and he wrote our book.
Rick Cushman, he'd been writing the food and wine section in the Sacramento Bee for a very long time. And he wrote our book with a lot of humor and with a lot of fun stories, with no lists of do's and don'ts, because those things you pick up on.
Yeah.
Through the story. So it became a New York Times bestseller, we're very happy to say. And we began speaking at universities throughout the world to schools that teach entrepreneurship. And that was really a blast, sharing some of our lessons learned with students. Then we started seeing them come in with earbuds. And we thought, well, what are you listening to? And they were listening to podcasts and audiobooks and all kinds of things. And we said, well, then we have to get to more people by putting our book, The Barefoot Spirit, into an audiobook. And that's how the idea came about. Fortunately, we were able to meet you, Matt, through Ryan Folan. And we worked with the Sherwood Players and created an excellent audiobook of the same name, The Barefoot Spirit. It took top awards at the Association of Publishers for Audiobooks in New York for 20.
The audio awards. That's right. That's like the
audio awards.
It's
Exactly.
like the Academy Awards for audiobooks.
Right.
Yes, and it's run by the popular national publications, the publishers of audiobooks. Well, we were independently published. So there weren't any, there's never been an independent that's taken any awards, come to find out. We spoke to a few judges, and when we told them that we were in the top 5 business audiobook category, they were totally shocked. They said, how did you do that?
Wow.
How did we do that? Matt, you know how we did that.
Well,
So
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, in the process of applying for the awards, we were working with the awards staff. And one of the questions was, what makes this audiobook so unique? And we said, well, it's not read to you, it's performed for you.
Right.
So you're not listening to somebody reading a book. You're actually listening to actors and actresses in scenes, and they're going through an argument or a discussion that is educating the audience, and it's exciting because you don't know where it's going to go. Are the proponents going to go to jail? Are they going to lose their top customer? Are they going to lose their top employee? What's going to happen? It's kind of a cliffhanger. It's like,
right.
You want to hear the next segment because it leaves you on the edge of the cliff. And so that's when we realized that we had something very interesting here. We had a way of communicating business ideas in an entertaining format.
It seems to me, because when I first got involved with you guys, I'd never heard of anything like this before. And that's coming from the entertainment side of things, the storytelling side of things, because there's a lot of stories to be told in Hollywood. Obviously, making a movie isn't something unique. Everybody, we've been making movies for decades and decades. But what exactly about this? No one thought of this before. This is crazy. Actually finding a story within the creation of a business plan that created something that affected people. Why not tell that story in an interesting way? Why have, as opposed to having a narrator droning on and on for 7 hours? So this is the part that got me excited to do this with you guys. So it's incredible that this was able to push. So
Business books can be terribly boring.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
They can be trying.
So this is a business book. We had one student come up to us and say, this is the first business book that I have ever completely read.
That's awesome.
Okay, because it's fun, because it's exciting. So there were the 1940 radio shows. That was all done with actors, and that was done with sound effects and music and such. That was very exciting. Families used to sit around their radio, glued to the radio, and obviously, there's no action going on. The action takes place up here. That's the beauty of audio. You create your own scenes in your mind. It makes it all more memorable. And because Michael and I learned such tough lessons in business and managed to come out of it with a successful product and a sale, we want to share those lessons with as many other people as we can. So we created BAT, Business Audio Theater. And the Barefoot Spirit was the first production that we did with you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And it was very successful. And now we have another client, and we are producing business audio theater for founders, for business owners that want to engage their employees. They want to have them excited about the business. Employees don't want just a job anymore. They want to know that they're doing something that's important, something that makes a difference in the world, something that benefits more than just their pocketbook. And in order to engage these people and to retain them, you really have to tell them your story as a founder. And that's what we're doing now with Business Audio Theater. We're telling founders stories.
And one of the things that our current client said is, why we said, why do you want to do a business audio theater version of your history? He said, and this is really interesting. He says, I want to encourage, he's in the medical world, I want to encourage medical students to complete medical school. And I want to attract them to my companies as potential future employees. And I want them to write their own chapter, see, with their life. So you get excited about this story and you say, I'm going to jump on here. I like this. I like this story. This story, I like these people. I like what they stand for. I like the way they treat other people, other races, the environment, women, every single touch point that we have today. I like these people. Okay. So, and now I'm attracted to these people, but you couldn't do that if it was just, a website or even a written book. It has to be something more entertaining.
So you were using the power of storytelling. We came up with it's storytelling. It's cinema for the ears. So it's,
right, you came up with that, yeah.
Right. So it's the full cinematic experience for the ears.
3D audio.
3D audio. And so, like you're saying, Michael, what you're saying is that it's not just about telling your story and getting it out there, which is a great thing. It's about how people are responding and who is responding and what is it triggering in them to want to partake and to be affected by it and make even a bigger impact than just the person telling the story. So it expands. It kind of becomes having a life of its own, and it triggers everybody to kind of speak up and participate. So I love that. That's amazing.
One of the things that's really interesting for me about business audio theater is how business audio theater works on the brain. So because there's no screen, you have to use your own imagination. Right. If somebody says, John walked into the office and pulls up a chair, your brain has to go get a picture of an office out of your brain's file and put it up into your forehead, and you're looking at that office. And then you have to see John walk in, and you have to see him pick up a chair. You have a picture of a chair. Well, these pictures that you have in your brain from your history are touchstones, and that's how we remember stuff. Like you smell the plumeria, you think about Hawaii, see? And And this is how our brains work. And what I like about business audio theater is it's using not just the latest technology, but it's also using a lot of the latest in biochemistry and what we're learning about how we remember things.
Mm-hmm.
And so here you are, you don't have a screen. And a situation is described and then action takes place. And you're the fly on the wall. You're watching this, right? But you're watching it in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you're cycling and maybe, you're making pasta. It doesn't matter because you got your earbuds on and you're in a different world. So, yeah, we're very excited to be part of this revolution. And it is a revolution. There's been a 20% increase in the last 1 year of people listening to audio. So just imagine, it's blowing up.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And hey guys, I want to throw in here, it's really interesting timing on this, because we, like, as you guys know, we just started our YouTube channel a month ago. And so we have our whole catalog, the Sherwood catalog of back projects. And I thought it was great timing last night. What we did last night was we uploaded the 5 featured clips from our original Barefoot Spirit, the ones that Ryan made for us, those MP4s, those with those beautiful visuals to accompany the audio presentation. They're like 1 to 3 minute clips. And so there's 5 of them. They feature all of our actors and all of the fun, the narration and the sound effects and the music. And even a couple of them even feature some of our awesome, legendary talent. We have Ed Asner. We have Gigi Perot. And so we uploaded them all last night on our channel. So for people watching right now, when we're done with the live, you guys have to go and check these out and really give you guys the experience of business audio theater, like the best of the best. You just, listen for a couple minutes, you got to see what we have in store for you coming up, which we are very excited about. I know you guys mentioned it earlier. So right now, I have another surprise for you guys. We have, so right now we actually have on the show, we're gonna bring on another guest here to say hi to quickly. He's one of our new members of Business Audio Theater. He's studied at the University of London, studied with Monty Python and the BBC while he was out there as an actor, screenwriter, and now audio play writer. Guys, everybody, please welcome our new writer, our new addition to the BAT team, Tom Cocknell. Here you are, buddy. Come on in.
Hello.
Hey, how's it
How are
going?
you? It's good to see you.
It's great to have you here, Tom. I know you were really busy too, and it was great. I was happy to hear you can come in and check in with us for a few minutes here and say hi to everybody.
Well, it's funny. I literally, after I talked to you here, I'm getting on with that medical client of theirs, and we're going to go through some more of the script and trade some more stories. So it is ongoing right now.
That's awesome. I mean, man, I love, can you tell us a little bit about what, for you, your experience coming in with us very quickly, like what have you learned from this so far since your experience working on this new project of BAT?
Yeah, it's been eye-opening in a couple of ways. As Michael said, it's about the way that people learn. The audio theater learning experience is meeting an audience halfway rather than a one-way sort of transmission of a book or a very dry material. If you can immerse them in the feeling that the founder of a company had, or the struggles that they went through when they were trying to do it. Anyone who's an entrepreneur, many entrepreneurs fail again and again and again before they finally find what it is that they're attempting to do. And really it's about bringing a service. And so I learned very much how a service-oriented mentality rather than a what can I do for you mentality, how do I get what I want and how do I take your money is not the best approach. It's much more how can I be of service, or how can I help you sell this thing is a lot better attitude. And in particular in this medical field, it's about caregiving. So it's really exploring how do you pair a technology and a mindset of a particular doctor or doctors that then make you not fear the technology and make you embrace it as a service rather than just widgets and machines. It's about people and caring for them. And for me, humanizing it in a script like this, that's going to make it much more palatable for people in the future. And at least it leaves a record for them, a road marker, if you will, a road marker that they can look at and say, well, these were some of the struggles they went through, and here's how they overcame this. And hopefully in just the telling, in the playing of the scenes, people will glean knowledge from experiencing it.
That's very well said, Tom. And I have to say, can I just add this for our listeners right now who are trying to put together their own projects and such? It's really about surrounding yourself with the right people in the right positions and having a really solid team mentality. And this is something that I saw in Michael and Bonnie when we first met and started business audio theater with the Barefoot Spirit. And I see in you now, Tom, and I just have to applaud Michael and Bonnie. You always seem to, Michael and Bonnie have been doing this for years. They just always seem to surround themselves with the right people at the right time, at the right, in the right situations. And I think that's something that we all have to strive for as artists, because if you're not in a team that's functioning well, how are you going to get done the vision that you have? So this is, I just love you guys, everybody together and just doing what they do at the best at what they do. So yes, thank you.
I have to agree. I interface with Bonnie a lot, and I can see why Bonnie and Michael are successful, because what she does is make you feel heard, and she always figures out a solution or a win-win rather than you giving up to something else. It's like, well, how do we make this work? How do we both feel like we won in this situation? How do we compromise without compromising whatever the value is or whatever the business proposition is? And in talking with her, I can see why Barefoot's done really well, is that at the end of the day, she has integrity, Michael has integrity, and the two of them make you want to do your best work. And I think like-minded people attract like-minded people.
Absolutely.
That really is what BAT is all about. Yeah. It's getting the founder's story to the people that he's working with, not just his employees, but, contracted services and customer, or in our current client's case, students of medicine. It's getting their story and their inspiration to those other people to create the best team. Because that's how you get things done. That's how you really accomplish whatever your goals are. It's by working with other people. And surround yourself by the best.
Yeah, I just want to say something. First of all, we are really lucky to have Tom on our team. Yeah. This is a guy with huge experience. But what he's doing right now is, and I think he would agree, is challenging, because he's the guy who has to get it out of the client's brain and put it into a scene with actors and actresses and with scripts and dialogue that the fly on the wall who observes this with music and sound effects is going to say, wow, I see how this person felt. I see the challenge that they had. I see the outcome. I see the decisions they made. I understand their principles, and how they made this judgment, whether it was the right judgment or the wrong judgment. You're learning all the time like they are. But what Tom is, he's the guy who's pulling that together. So he has to have a business background in order to do that. This is not just the story of Prince Valiant and, the princess. This is the story of somebody you never heard of who created some kind of a breakthrough that's going to save your life, you see. And that's what he's doing. So
that's true, and it's medical. Thank you very much. It's also the terminology. You have to speak the language of the client. and you have to kind of do your homework. Like I've had to really deep dive into some of the technology that he's talking about because, it's for them, it's every day, but for us, it's rare air sometimes. It's like, oh, I didn't know this terminology. I didn't know this is how you speak. You have to listen to the rhythms of how they speak. If you're doing a movie about people working in a restaurant or a bar, you got to learn how they speak in that bar. How do they talk to each other? What is it? There's an inside secret language that they have. And to catch that flavor, you have to kind of immerse yourself in it. And in this case, it's medical terminology, and it's, a doctor ordering up something with another doctor. They talk to each other in a kind of shorthand that you need to make palatable to an audience that's listening. And that's also been kind of interesting to decode, because there'll be questions I have where I'm like, okay, when you're talking about PTA at 4 milligrams, what are we talking about here? And it increases your knowledge base. I feel like sometimes I'm writing for ER, and Michael Crichton wrote for ER, and he was a Harvard doctor, just like the client we have. So speaking that language is super important, and making them feel comfortable telling their story, I think, is an art form, because if I'm going to meet somebody that, say, he's introducing, I'll do a backstory interview talk with him, and I'll be like, tell me a little bit about, how you met. Give me an image of the first things you remember. Take me through it. How important were they to the story? What kind of conflicts did you have? And then when you finally meet that other person, you can direct them in a way you would an outline. If I were writing a story outline, there's things called beats. You have beats in that story, and you want that person to fit into the beats. You don't want to have an unstructured, conversation about their favorite color for half an hour. You want to go, okay, when you met Colin and we were in this restaurant, do you remember what he said? How did you feel that day? And that makes for a much better story than just, I don't know what you want, Tom. I can talk,
This is awesome, Tom. I love the process you're describing, and it makes me confident that when you're done with this and I get my hands on it, and we can get this, get into auditions and get these characters cast, because it sounds like that you're doing the work that needs to be done on those details, and that's going to help our actors really bring this thing to life. And so it's just really remarkable, just storytelling at its finest, which I like. So this is awesome. Tom, really quick, before you go, could you give us a little hint of, do we have a working title on this thing? I'm just curious.
At the moment, I'm calling it The Caring Machines, from 5 patients to 5 hospitals. 5 Patients was the Michael Crichton book that inspired our client to go into medicine and to do telemedicine. And because they use machines, we are the only machines that care. We're the only machines that can have empathy. We, in fact, are the only caring machines.
We are the machines. I love this. This is
your body machine is repaired through care and empathy. They call it caregiving for a reason. And so I thought the caring machines is very much what they're selling. They're not selling the technology. They're selling the people behind the technology.
That's beautiful. I love it.
And as a subtitle and a kind of a descriptive comment, maybe, or a backflap, it might say something like, inventions and stories at the intersection of technology and human anatomy.
Yeah, that's great. Yes.
Because this is what he told us. We said, well, what is this story about? He says, well, this story is really about the intersection of technology and human anatomy. And I was saying,
very true.
Wow.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. Yeah, he's
but
great.
Anyway,
so
fantastic, Tom.
Thank you. It's great to see you all.
Thank you so much, Tom, for stopping by. And so excited for what's coming next with you guys, with you and everything, and moving forward with BAT. Welcome to the team, the BAT. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Take care. We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So I'd just like to point something out, because I'm listening to Tom and I'm thinking about your audience here, Matt. And I'm thinking, this is a new source of funding for the arts. It's not we're just doing a movie or we're doing a series to entertain people and, make money at the box office. Many of these people are never going to sell this, but they are going to give it away. And they're going to give it away to promote their brand, to attract people to work for them, to keep people working for them who are working for them, and to engage people in working for them. In other words, creating the whole concept of a team here, team building. So the idea of a team building tool and the idea of
an employee retention.
Employee retention tool. And I want to say, a welcome aboard tool or an onboarding tool. It's like, hi, welcome to our company. Listen to this. This is the history of our company. See?
Right.
I think that that's exciting for people in the entertainment industry because it means that we're actually creating new customers for what it is that they have to sell, which is the depicting of these characters and the way they speak and the way they deliver their thoughts and whatnot in a convincing and compelling way that is entertaining and fun to listen to. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that because we just sat there and listened to Tom, and he didn't talk about any big producer or group of producers or Chinese company that was behind this.
So, hey, listen, I have a question for you guys. If I'm an actor and producer and I'm in Sherwood and I'm thinking, gosh, I can't wait till the next auditions for the next BAT audiobook project, but I might have an idea for the next business audio theater project, or I might know somebody in my friends and family in my network that fits exactly this type, like a CEO or a business owner who has always wanted to tell their story or has something interesting to share as far as their business journey, and they want to have that story told, and this would be a perfect platform to do it. What would they need to do, or what would you suggest they do as far as moving on that?
Well, I think that they should probably give us a shout. We always start with a very casual conversation. We're business founders. We're very comfortable with other business founders.
Yes.
We know what they went through. We know it wasn't, some kind of a ride to glory. We know that it was tromping through the swamps. We know it. And so because we have this credibility. They go, oh yeah, Michael and Bonnie, they built this big wine brand, but they got their butts kicked doing it. They know that. See, so most conversations with other founders get right down to the butt kicking. It's like, well, how did you get your butt kicked? Or what lessons did you learn? Or what would you never do again?
But that's the interesting part. That's the interesting part. It's not about we already know. We already know Barefoot Wine was successful. We already know that.
Right.
We want to know where it failed. We want to know where there were those roadblocks happened, where you fell on the ground. And I think the story of Barefoot, and hopefully it sets I think it's such an incredibly high mark, which might be a bad thing because now we have such a high level to aim for. But no, it's not a bad thing. We have a high level to aim for, where you're taking a story and you're saying, we're going to give you the best and the worst of it all. And you're going to see when we were at our absolute worst. And that's not just the relatable part. That's I think it goes beyond that. That says, yes, this is where I think I can feel more confident telling my story. I don't have to feel embarrassed talking about where I went wrong because Michael and Bonnie are doing it, or it's proven to be a success to really open up and be vulnerable and show those failures. And it's interesting. Those are interesting stories to listen to.
They are, and they're extremely surprising. Some of the assumptions, the popularly held assumptions that most people will respond in that way, we found many to be just completely inaccurate and not applicable to what we were doing at all. So you could say we made a lot of mistakes. I prefer to see it as we've learned a lot of lessons, and
yes,
we were in and still are in a constant state of improvement.
That's beautifully said, Bonnie. And some of the lessons, I mean, I've retained them, and we worked on this a little while back, but I've retained some of these lessons, and I apply them in my work with Sherwood. And I think that it's been very effective. Just the fact that your story is there and exists, and we've had a chance to tell it together. I'd like to go back, if you guys don't mind, because I had a request from a viewer that wants to hear one of the clips right now. So if you guys don't mind, from Barefoot, yes. And I think this is important because people need to know, if they haven't ever heard Barefoot and they want to get a little bit more of an idea of what we're doing with business audio theater. So I'm going to play this clip of it's called The First Buyer. Michael, do you want to set this up for us? Because this is I loved doing this. I love producing this with you. So do you want to set it up?
So there's the First Buyer part 1, and then there's the First Buyer part 2. So I don't know which one of these it is, but the first buyer.
Don't tell the story.
I won't tell the story.
He likes to tell the whole story.
Don't worry.
The build up.
She'll shut me up. So anyway, the build up is, Barefoot's got to start somewhere. Somebody's got to buy it first. Okay. And, my naivety of the ease of that sale is probably what you walk away with. Like, boy, was that guy naive? Or, my God, look at what's involved here. He just walked into this lion's mouth here. So that's part of the setup. The other part of the setup is that we were very, very fortunate to get Ed Asner, who is, Mr. Snarky, let's face it, and Hollywood, and has a reputation for it, and we love him for it. But this particular buyer was the same kind of guy. So this guy perfectly fits this particular character. So go ahead and roll it.
Oh, he happens to be the wine buyer of Safeway that was selling Lucky's, that was selling the greatest number of bottles of wine in the state of California. So Michael went right to the top, right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check this out. The first buyer.
What do you want?
Michael put a bottle of Barefoot Cabernet and one of the Sauvignon Blanc on Brown's desk.
We bottled the wine and want you to see it.
Brown picked up the bottle of red and looked it up and down. Then he did the same with the white.
This is what you asked for. There aren't any leaps or hills or rivers. It's a label she can read from 4 feet away. The logo is the same as the name. It's in plain English and easy to pronounce. It's a name she'll remember and a logo she won't forget.
Michael was proud of what they'd done, in the way of a student with a good report card. Barefoot was unique, interesting, and fit everything that Brown and the others said would sell. The wine, he knew, was terrific. The label was friendly and fun. What's not to love, he thought. Brown kept looking at the bottles. He didn't say anything. The silence was uncomfortable, but Michael sat quietly. Brown looked at the bottles again, but said nothing. Michael figured it was just Don Brown being Don Brown, make everyone sweat.
So, Don, how many truckloads do you want?
Brown put the bottle down at his desk and looked at Michael like he was from Mars. Michael couldn't have gotten a worse look from Brown if he had clucked.
Are you crazy? I can't buy this. Nobody knows this brand. Nobody's ever seen or heard of Barefoot.
It's everything you asked for.
Yeah? So what? That doesn't matter. No one's gonna buy something they never heard of. You gotta advertise it. If you're willing to spend $1 million on TV ads, I'll buy it from you.
We don't have that kind of advertising budget.
In truth, they had no advertising budget. There wasn't $100 for ads.
Then you gotta go make a name for yourself. You gotta go sell it to every mom and pop store in every corner till everyone knows what Barefoot is.
Michael felt like he just got hit by a brick.
That'll take years.
Well, Houlihan, you better get started.
I love that scene. I love that scene.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was so fun to do. And what a great opportunity to work with the great Mr. Ed Asner.
Yes.
And it was a remarkable opportunity. And I can't believe it all worked out that way. But like, just to be able to tell your story, Michael, and take on, I guess if people don't know, I did end up voicing the role of you, Michael, which was an interesting, a lot of pressure, I have to say, to come into the table and have to like not let you down and do this performance for you and stand across from Ed Asner too. So it was a big moment for me as an actor, but just to have everything come together from the production side of it. And I just hope people that were listening to it if you've heard it before, I hope it brought you some good memories of when we did this. And if you're hearing it for the first time, I just want people to kind of process that how much we're doing in there. And it's not just the narration and Ed doing a voice, I'm doing another voice, but we have a whole musical score behind it. There's some sound effects. I mean, we're really giving the full experience. So we want people to feel like that they're actually in the room with Michael when this is happening. This critical moment of the journey is happening. We can feel it. I think that's what the aim was.
The energy and the uplift that the whole book has is very exciting. There's so many business lessons, but they're not droned out to you like a boring list. It's very exciting to learn in this fashion.
See,
Exactly.
when you learn a lesson like, this guy says what he wants, but he doesn't buy it because it has to be advertised because his customers don't know what it is, even if he likes it. See, so he has to be loyal to his customers. So he puts it back on the producer. Are you going to advertise this? If you do, I will. And if you don't, well, then, basically you got to go pound sand. And so he sends me on a 2-year journey, imagine, to go out and sell this to every corner grocery store and every mom and pop and every independent, because the big box stores, they won't touch it because it's not known yet. And so that's a real lesson that we run into as business consultants with a lot of folks who come up with a great idea. Boy, it looks great on the screen. All their friends love it. It's really cool. But nobody will buy it because nobody's ever heard of it before. Even though it solves a problem they don't know they have the problem. See? And so now you're doing this missionary thing of having to tell them that they have a problem that isn't being satisfied, and you have the solution for it. Well, that in itself is quite a business lesson, because it kind of kicks the slats out of this idea that if you have a good idea, you're going to be a success.
Right.
There's more to it than that.
And this is a lesson we can apply through all sorts of industries. I think anybody that has a chance to listen to this and our future audiobooks, our future business audio theater is going to follow the same model as this, where we're really giving these life lessons that can transcend all industries. So the idea that just because you have a good idea doesn't mean you have been successful with it yet. That's a huge, I think that's a huge aha moment. If any entrepreneur out there just has to kind of like deal with that and accept that. And then what are you going to do about it?
Sales is king. Period.
And this is what we love so much about what Sherwood Players is doing with business audio theater. It's because it is using what the entertainment industry has, but it's using it in a very deliberate way to take these scenes that are kind of like these seminal moments or these watershed moments where you have like 2 or 3 people in the room, but something goes down. And because it goes down, you remember it. You go, oh, wow, that was a little bit surprising or unheard of, or, I didn't expect that, or whatever. Or that was disappointing. That was a big setback. And our book, The Barefoot Spirit, every scene is a business lesson. And that's what Tom is doing right now, pulling those business lessons out and putting them into scenes with dialogue, that can be script for the Sherwood Players to really act out and bring to life, and that's the key, because Bonnie and I have been talking about lists. Most business books, and you've read them, here's the 3 things you got to do, the 5 things to never do, the 20 things your customer wants from you. That's the way business books have been written for the last 25 years. It's bloody boring. Come on. It's very boring. But, if you want to pay attention to something as dry as business, it better be exciting, and it must, and fun and funny, and you name it, surprising, all those things. Right. So yeah, you guys, Sherwood Players did a really excellent job. There's a good reason that they got top 5, business books from the Audiobook Producers Association.
Yes.
It's because it merited it. It was like, oh my God, I didn't know entertainment could be used this way.
I thank you so much. That means so much, Michael. You saying that about us, because we try to put everything, heart and soul, blood, sweat, tears into everything we do. So we're just so happy. I guess we kind of struck oil, I guess you could say, in a bit. We kind of discovering this new genre together. Like this, it's literally a brand new storytelling genre, business audio theater. It's incredible.
Yeah. And what we hope to do is, since Sherwood Players will be the first, they'll always be the first. They'll always be the originals. Okay. Because they will have 2 under their belt before we get copied.
That's a good point. I
don't care if we get copied. I figure that'll just make it more popular.
Right.
And they can always come back to the originals. So it's a wonderful adventure we're on. And we look forward to it. We have to do a really good job with the second one, because everybody's going to say, oh yeah, the first one was great, but that was Michael and Bonnie's story, so then they hear the second one. The second one has got to knock it out of the park.
Like The Godfather Part 2.
It has to be like The Godfather Part 2. Exactly.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
No pressure from the Academy Award winning first film. Just do it. Just do better. Do better than that. Right. Yeah. No, but
have fun. That's really
keep important. On smiling.
Yes, have fun. I'm excited, and Tom checking in with us, that gave me makes me very hopeful, and I can't wait to have the script in my hand and to be able to announce auditions to people. So everybody, please stay tuned. We will let you guys know when auditions are going to happen for the next audiobook project, which I suppose we just got officially announced. The working title is The Caring Machines. So that's what we're going with. So look out for that, guys. The Caring Machines working title of the next business audio theater project is in process and coming soon. Thank you, guys. Also, go ahead. Yes, Bonnie.
Also, I did want to mention that if anybody out there who's hearing this knows of a candidate that would really like to preserve their own story, a founder who wants to get a real team together that's loyal and creative and sticks with him or her, there is a finder's fee for anyone that would be signing up to do their own bat. There's a finder's fee for the person that introduces us.
So that's incredible. That's awesome, Bonnie. Where can they, should they contact Sherwood Players, or can they go right to the, okay. So
sure,
everyone,
they can go to, they can go to businessaudiotheater.com as well.
I think we have a link to Business Audio Theater on SherwoodPlayers.com. So you guys can go either way, and you can get in contact with us, and let's have a conversation. If you have somebody, if you yourself or somebody in your family has an idea, has something in store for a Business Audio Theater project that you think will be interested in producing, bring it to the table. And like Bonnie said, there's a finder's fee, a very nice finder's fee involved there. So thank you guys for everything. Thank you for all the amazing life lessons, business lessons, and everything you guys bring to the table. You just help inspire just so many artists and entrepreneurs out there. And we're all the same. We're all artists and entrepreneurs, all thinking outside the box, looking for ways to improve our brand and what we put out there, and having very authentic and organic relationships with people around us in our network, so we can continue to be successful as we maneuver through these crazy industries that we find ourselves in. So thank you guys. Yes. Anything else you guys want to add, or we can, we should probably wrap up, but anything else? Or you guys?
It's always fun working with you. And if it's not fun, we're not doing it.
I love it. I love it, Bonnie. Okay, great. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in to the Sherwood Shakeup. Thank you guys, Michael and Bonnie, and I hope we can be on Clubhouse. We're going to go on Clubhouse in about 5 minutes. So you guys, so you guys go on there and look for the Sherwood Players Club, and the name of the room is called Power to the Artist. So we'll see you guys all on there in about 5 minutes. Thank you guys once again, Michael and Bonnie. You've been awesome. We'll catch up with you guys later. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. And that'll wrap up our 5th episode of the Sherwood Shakeup. Wow, what an awesome time we just had. I can't believe it. This was so informative and so much fun. And I hope you guys got a lot out of it. I hope you guys got as much out of it as I did. So take care for now, and we will see you next week. Our special guest will be the actor, producer, Patrick Kilpatrick, who is actually running for governor of California. So we're going to have a very interesting conversation. I'm very excited for that. And tune in next week. Until then, guys, take care, and we'll see you at the next Sherwood function. Bye.